Oops. Hello, welcome to Trisha's Cards and Crafts. It's 7 o'clock, so I'm going to carry on going live. Oops, hang on a sec. Forgot I turned the sound down on my iPad. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have, if you've not, please say hello. If you have, please say hello. Not if you've not. Oh dear, I'm not with it. Yes, so today I thought I would show you. I've made some of these things, not for Christmas, but for gifts for people. And I just thought it might be nice if I showed you how I made them. So this is a little treat pouch. This one actually hasn't got anything inside it, but the ones I made originally have got like some little gifts inside, some little treats, and it didn't have that, the sentiment is in there. This one, I made one for my auntie recently. It's got, these are post-it note pads, but they're 6x4 instead of 3x3 or 4x4, whichever. And I bought these from Amazon. I've made things like this before, but usually they're the smaller ones, and they've got a little pocket in there which you can put things in. And I have got some 2026 calendar, the little tear off ones that you can put inside on the inside here, but they're not in my room and I can't find what I did with the first lot I bought. This is my second lot I'm on at the moment, but yeah, I've put a little calendar in there, and that just helps to make it a little bit thicker as well. It's not that bad. It's by the time you've got the calendar in it, it's sort of the right sort of depth for the dimensions of the holder. So these would be great for little stocking fillers or for gifts for teachers. Maybe they would be good for friends and family, great for Christmas craft fairs or whatever. And then they've got a little pen that just slips in. These are a bit small, but these go more with the 4x4 ones that I made last year, but I thought I'd step it up a bit and make this one will fit. I've got a blue coloured pen, so I thought that would be nice to use with that. So I've got these two to show you. This one's got an interesting closure. This ribbon, the flap is on this side, but it sort of goes through double through the holes, but it doesn't actually, it won't come apart, not very easily anyway. It will come apart, but you have to push the ribbon back through because the ribbon sort of goes twice through at the back. So it's quite an interesting, so it doesn't actually have to be tied. It's I quite like this closure on there. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's make a start. And it's a bit like a pillow box at the bottom, but without having to have any guidelines or guides to score lines or whatever to put at the bottom to make it, you just do it with your fingers. So that's, it's better off when there's something inside. Okay, so let's make a start. Right, so I'll make the, should we do first? Should we do the pouch first? Or should we do we'll do the booklet, the holder. So we've got a piece of, I've got, this one is old of, I'm going to use different DSP to the last one. So I'm going to use them from the papers here are from Peaceful, oh that's going to be good, I can't remember, what did I do? It's called Peaceful Garden Suite. There's lots of nice papers in here. This one's got the sticker sheet as well, because it does come with a sticker sheet if you want to. You don't have to have the sticker sheet, but I bought it with a sticker sheet. You've got whoops, all these different designs. So you've got this paper with some stars on the back. You've got this one, which is the one I've used, and it's got, whoops, not that one. It's got this sort of grid pattern on the back. You've got this one with doves. It's quite pretty, with a little foliage and tiny little flowers on the back. That's the same one. This one, which is like a watercolor wash on the one side, and you've got the leaves on the back. And then you've got the ones with the doves on again, and I think with the stamp set there's a, you can cut the doves out, but I'm not quite sure. And you've got this pattern on the back with some crumb cake by the looks of it. And then the other pattern is this one with sort of small sprigs of foliage again. Looks a little bit like baby's breath, or can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then it's got this sort of wash effect on the back of that one. So that's that one. And if you want to, you can choose, you can buy the sticker sheet to go with it. If you're into scrapbooking, this is quite nice. You've got little tags to go at the top. You can put the dates on. You've got a little a little tag that'll pop out somewhere. You've got these two. Again, you can put onto your pages. You've got a bigger one over here. You've got lots of sprigs of foliage, leaves. You've got some Christmas trees. You've got this nice, sorry, I don't think you can see that one. It's got the Happy Days label as well there. So there's quite a lot of big-ish things which would look good on a scrapbooking page. Okay, so that's what comes. It's in the suite. There's some of the speciality papers that I've used before, which are the glimmer papers or glitter papers. So that's where these papers came from. The ones I'm using for this one now are from the Christmas Traditions set of papers. I put it on there. Traditions of Christmas Speciality Designer Series paper, because they've got the gold foiling on. Again, these have got some nice, I've used I've used one of these papers before on a different project a couple of weeks ago. This one there with the red. They've all got some patterns on the back as well, but I will just carry on and show you with the instructions and the demonstration. So we've got I've got a piece of old olive, and it's 9 3/4 inches by 6 1/4, and it's scored at 4 1/8, 4 1/2 and 4 7/8. So you've got a larger side and a shorter side, so it's this way round when you open it. So you score, we'll burnish the score lines. So I'll show you what I'm talking about now. So we burnish those. So that's the biggest one, and then again on the next one, and the final one there. So the front of the holder, note holder, will be 4 1/8, this piece here. Now the base piece is a bit wider, because we're going to fold this between on this sort of second crease line, and this is 6 1/4, so it's just over this. I put this on my mat. I've got a 0 line in the middle, so I can use a pair of scissors. And what I'm going to do, you can mark it with a pencil, or you can just eyeball it if you want to. I'm going to make a snip at 1/2 inch either side, there and there, so that I know it's more or less in the middle. It doesn't have to be. It's not that terrible if it's not. And I'm just going to cut to the first score line there. So there we go. So it's just there. Now that, what will happen is this piece will keep staying out. whereas this piece is going to fold in and this one will. So you've got this piece that will stick out. So you fold that down and down. Make sure that the creases are all nicely folded. Okay, so this piece will be stuck down. So when you open it up, so that your pen will go in there like this. Whoops, I haven't stuck it down yet. So, and then when you open it up, this piece will stick. We'll stick this piece down. So when you open it up, your pad will go on the inside there, like that, and you will have your inside panel here. Okay, but we don't need that yet because we haven't finished off. So we've also got some more pieces. So we've got a piece of white card which is 6 inches in height and 3 7/8 wide. You've got a piece of the DSP which is 5 7/8 by 3 5/8. You've got a piece for the inside which is 4.5 by 3 7/8, and another piece which is there's a piece missing, which is 3 5/8 by 4 1/4. Then you've got a piece of green old olive card again, and this one is 2.5 inches. Well, this one isn't actually. This one's a little bit smaller because I didn't have. This one's just over. It's about 2 3/8. So I'm going to cut these two pieces down. So I've got these two pieces are. This one at the moment is 3 7/8 by 2 1/4, and this piece is 2 inches by 3 oh no, this one's 3 7/8. This one's 3 5/8. So 3 7/8 by 2 1/4 and 3 5/8 by 2. But I'm just going to cut another 1/8 of an inch off this, and I'll just use my, so I'm going to make this, oh that's right, so I'm going to make this one to be 2 1/8 because I've only got 2 3/8 for the other piece, so you will see why now. I won't be, there is a method in my madness. So I wanted to make it fit what I had, so I didn't want to have to cut another piece of card up, so that's why I used that. So those are the pieces for the inside. Okay, so let's stick all of these down. So I'm going to use Tombow. You can use whichever you like. You can use tear and tape, or you can use or your Stampin' Seal, or even Stampin' Seal Plus. But I like this because then I know I've got a little bit of wiggle room if I don't put it down completely straight. So this piece now goes on here with should be similar border all the way around. Make sure I don't move it. And then this piece is going to go on top. I have got some scraps as well, which I'll use to put the sentiment on the front. So I don't know if you're ready for this. Obviously, if you've got a piece of DSP that has got some sort of direction on it, then you need to make sure that you try and put them so that they're all facing the same direction or the correct direction. But with this one, I don't really think it's got a direction on it. Again, try and make sure that you've got an equal border all the way around. So that's the outside. Now for the inside pieces. So I'm going to put this piece down first, and I will explain why. And so we've got this piece first. It was my auntie's birthday on Saturday, and we went to my cousin's for afternoon tea. It was lovely, and she didn't want any birthday presents this year, so I made her one of these because I thought, well, you can always use a little notepad, and it's just didn't want to go with nothing, so I took her one of these that I made. So this again, trying to get an equal border at the top. The bottom's not so much as important as the rest of it because it's going to be hidden. So now, before I actually stick it down, this piece is I just cut a slither off from the 4 1/8 piece because it will fit. Actually, this isn't the right piece, but it doesn't matter. I will make this one just under 4 1/8 because it's got to close and open. So I want this one to be just under 4 1/8. So that wasn't the right size anyway, but I think I might have another piece somewhere. There it is. I bet that's the right size. So I've got another piece there ready for later on. So this piece is going to go over the top, which is why I wanted to put this one down first. And I thought, well, I don't want to waste a whole piece of paper that's going to be underneath, so that's why I made this one shorter, but it's long enough that this is going to be sort of over the top, but it's hidden. You don't see a little bit, because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my 1 and here we go. This one 1 3/4 inch punch. If you haven't got one, it doesn't really matter. This is only to make a little finger notch. So I'm just going to try and eyeball it so that it's centered a little bit, and it just makes, if you put it on the front and you want to put something inside it, it just makes it easier to get anything in or out of it. But the first time I did it, I tried to do all 3 at the same time. Layered them all up, and then tried to make the notch, and it was so difficult because it was 3 thicknesses, and the punches don't really like that. So I'll just show you a quick and easy way. So I did the first one. Now I'm going to just line this up so that it's in the correct position for where I want it to be, and I'm holding it carefully, and I'm just going to draw around where this one ends, and then I'm just going to put that in my punch again and try and make sure I line it up correctly, and that one is now done. So that one will hopefully she says, now there we go, line up so that I've got the same border all the way round. I think I know what I did with the other one now. So this time I'm going to put this one over the top of there, because obviously I haven't got it centered, so that's why it wasn't lining up properly. Let's make sure I get that lined up. So now that has got an equal border around it, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to draw a line around there, and then I'm going to punch this one out. So put it into my punch again and punch that out. Oops, there we go. So I shouldn't be able to get this one wrong this time. So I'll put that one back here. So that will now hopefully fit on there in the right place with an equal border around it. So now we just stick these on. So this one is going to go down so that it comes right to the bottom edge and this side edge, and it should be just inside that crease line there, which is the bit that's going to be on the front, on the as you open it up. So I'm just going to put a small, right as near to the edge as I can, but without putting too much on, because I don't want it to ooze out and then it'll end up sticking to itself, which we don't want to do. So just around the 3 edges which has not got the notch cut out of it. And then that is going to line up with the side and the bottom. So this side here, and there is a little bit of glue come out along there. I'll do that one, get that off there. So you need to make sure that these are pressed down well, because we don't want them to come away once we put things inside it. Otherwise there's not much point in putting it there. If you've got a little pocket that won't keep things inside, not much point in having a little pocket. So just going over with my bone folder. If you haven't got one, a ruler, whatever you've got to hand, even your fingers if you haven't got anything else, that will do. Just to make sure you press it down really well, because you have got a little bit in extra thickness to about there. Okay, so that's the first layer down. Then we'll add, make sure I got it the right way around. Yes, the white layer. And it will make a difference if I stick this on the wrong way round, because then it won't be quite an equal border around, because it's not quite centered. But that's what happens when you do it by eye. So we're going to put this one, and it should sort of also line up with this piece as well, so it looks as if it, although I've put it too far up. There we go. And don't worry about those pieces, because I can get them off. Haven't got any underneath, that's okay. So now I've got an equal border around there, but it also sort of lines up with those 2 pieces of white, the piece of white underneath. And then we can put this piece on top. So I'm going to put glue. Make sure you put it around the edge, the outside edges. There we go. And again, try to make sure you've got your equal border around it. And there we go. There we are. So that's the inside, and you should be able to put something inside there if you want to. Okay, again, you can put something in here if you wanted to. You could put a photograph, you could put another piece of paper with a message in if you wanted to, or downstairs, if I will find them again, I've got the calendars that you could put inside. You can easily buy those from Amazon, or probably from lots of different places, but any sort of stationery stores and things like that. So that can go there. Now we can stick this piece down. So we only want to put glue here and here, and not this piece here. And we don't want it to go too close to the edges either, because we don't want it again to ooze out. We don't want it to come right to the edge there, because you don't want it'll make where the pen's going to go all sticky. So that and there, like that. So you've got enough glue on to make sure it will stick. And then this you will fold right over, push those 2 pieces down. This piece you want to keep up, but this piece, so I'm going to use my bone folder again just to make sure this is nicely stuck down. If there is anything oozing out, just make sure I take that off. So that now is stuck down. Just going to push that back again to make sure that it's stuck like that. So we've got that, we'll open up there, and now we're going to put our book, our little pad inside. So the reason it's 4 1/8, you're just going to have width, and it's a 4-inch pad, and it's 6 1/4, so it's a little bit extra above and around all the way as well. Okay, so make sure I've got this the right way around, and we put some glue on the back of this. I mean, you could take the bottom piece, this piece off, and just stick the last post-it note on the back, because then you'd have some sticky, but it's they will eventually come off. So this way, hopefully, it will stay as much as possible, as long as possible, adhered to the holder. So you've got this. You don't want to push it too close to this piece here, but you've got your edge here, and there's your pad. Just make sure it's stuck down nicely. We can turn it over like that and stick it and rub it from the back as well, just to make sure. So now you've got your little piece here where you can fit your pen, and then you've got your little notepad holder. Okay, so that's that. We need to make something to go on the front now. So I've got a 1 7/8 inch punch and a 2-inch punch, which is what I used on the other one. You don't really want, I'm not going to raise these up on dimensionals or anything, because if somebody wanted them and they perhaps wanted to put them in their bag, you don't want anything that's going to catch and then it'll tear it, and you don't want to do that to something that's pretty like that. I've used from the Simply Said stamp set somewhere here. What have I got? Simply Said somewhere here. Stamp set. It doesn't. It's here. No. It was here. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's the Simply Said stamp set, and it just says, just for you. Just a note. Just a note. It says. Oh, there we go. I found it. Simply Said, and it's just this one here, just a note, because I thought it's notepads inside, so why not? You don't really want necessarily Merry Christmas. I mean, you could put it on there, or Happy Christmas, or if it was for birthday, you could birthday wishes, but then every time someone uses it, they've got birthday wishes or Christmas on it, and you don't necessarily, if you're going to give to somebody for Christmas, you don't want Merry Christmas on the front of it either. So I thought just a note is the better one. So I need some white card, a scrap of white card, which I've got here somewhere. I've got quite a few, so it shouldn't be a problem. There's a scrap of white card, and I'm going to use some Old Olive ink, and then I've got a scrap of Old Olive card as well, which I'm going to cut out with the 2-inch. I did this the wrong way around last time. And I cut the 2-inch out of the white and the 1 7/8 inch out of the Old Olive, so I had to cut an extra one. So there's my one circle, and another circle is, yes, back here for now, 1 7/8, but I'm going to stamp my just a note on here first with my olive ink. So just put that there. Yes, that's lovely. So put that away. And the 1 7/8, I'm just going to make sure that's in the middle. That should be okay. And punch that out. And it will just have a very narrow border around the outside. So again, if you wanted to, you can put it onto dimensionals, but I think it looks just as nice without. Again, you could also stamp a few leaves around the outside if you wanted to, but I think it looks okay as it is, because this paper is quite busy anyway. So you can use some Tombow or some wet glue, or you can use some tape runner or some post-it seal Stampin' Seal, or you could use some tear and tape, whichever you want. It's completely up to you. And if you want to put it on with dimensionals, you can do that too. So it's just I didn't think I would do that with this one. So let's put that on there like that. So it's sort of slightly up from the bottom and but centered across. So there we go. So that's our first little gift for somebody. The next one isn't so much a gift, but it is it's gift packaging instead. So for this one we need a piece of DSP and oh, there we go. So this is the paper again, so I've matched it. I thought that they would be nice to match them up because you could give them both to the same person if you wanted to. So this one I've also used the same paper. So this piece was 11 inches long and I've scored it at 5 inches and at 10 inches. Okay, so scored at 5 and scored at 10, and it's 4 1/4 inches wide. You can make it as long as you want to, so as long as the paper. So you could make it 12 inches and then score it at 5 1/2 and 11, whichever you want. If you've got something a little bit longer, you can make them shorter. So you could make it 10 inches and you could score it at 4 1/2 and then at 9, whatever suits you. And you can make it as wide or narrow as you want it to be as well. If you wanted to make it 6 inches wide, you could make it 6 inches wide. Whatever you've got that's going inside it, that's the width really that you want to make it. Now I'm using some Stampin' Seal Plus for this because it's nice and quick as well. But before I do that, if you've got a corner rounder, you could round these corners, or you could take the corners off diagonally as well, just to make it a bit more interesting. And I think I've got a corner rounder here somewhere. Well, I know I have, but there we go. Stampin' Up used to have a corner rounder, but we haven't got one at the moment. Oops. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this out without getting everything all the rest of it out. So I've just used this one for now. So you just fit that in. It didn't quite. Haven't I not got it straight? That's better. So rounded that corner and do the same thing on this one. There we go. So we've got those rounded there. You're not going to see that. With this pouch, I tied it, whatever. I closed it, so I've got the flap at the back, but you could have the flap at the front. It just depends on whatever you want to do, or even how you put your ribbon through. It's completely up to you, but that's how I did that one. This one, we could put this one so that it does up at the front. It's not going to make that much difference, to be fair. We're just going to put some Seal Plus as close to the edge as possible, and then on the other side, this is the simplest. I saw somebody else making one of these and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And I love the closure as well. I can't remember her name now. I'll try and find out who it was, and I'll put it hopefully in the description when I upload this to my channel. There we go. There we go. And again, when you're scoring it, try and make sure that you've got these sides, they match up, they marry up. Okay, so that is now quite well held. That's why I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus, because this is really strong. You could use tear and tape, that would be fine. Just put a piece on the one side and then fold that up together. So that's your little, it looks like an envelope. Now if you only had something like a gift card, you could put that inside, and you don't necessarily need to do the folding at the bottom, but I just thought it looked quite effective, and you can fit more in. And I will I've got some little bars of chocolate that I can use to put inside. So I'm going to put my fingers inside so that it sort of opens it out a bit, and then gently push from the bottom, trying to do it gently because I don't want it to, there we go. Once it starts, it keeps going, then you don't want, might just try and do the back as well. So you just keep gently putting gentle pressure so that it sort of curves around. It's easier. So you've got it. You want both sides to be the same as far as you can. You're just pushing those in so that you've got a curve. So you just sort of squeeze it with your fingers to make that curve and to hold it in place. So it just sort of creases it slightly gently. Okay, so you're just doing that. You can use a scoring tool and just push that again as well, just to give it a little bit of extra staying power probably. Right, and then I've got something to put inside this one. I've got 2 little bars of chocolate that can go inside, but before I do that, I should have done this while it was flat. I'm going to put 2 holes in it. Any sort of hole punch that you've got will do. There is a trio set of punches that Stampin' Up! Have got at the moment, and there's one that's 1/8 of an inch hole, but I've got one that's a little bit bigger than that, and that's because I've got a thicker ribbon to use. I'll show you in a moment. I'm going to use this, my Crop-A-Dile, and it's got, you can use these, and I'm using a larger hole, which is 3/16, so it's just a little bit bigger than 1/8 of an inch. So again, I'm just eyeballing where I'm going to put my ribbon through. So you don't necessarily want to do it too close to the edges, and you also want to try and get them lined up in the same, on the same line as well. It's not going to make that much difference, so it's not too much of a problem. So those are my holes. Get rid of the scraps. So I'll put the chocolate in now, and they should stay out of the way, hopefully. Yes, so there, that should be okay. They are slightly big for this one, but it's okay, it's not a problem. So I've got some of this, this one is shiny ribbon, and it's 1/2 inch wide, which is why I used a bigger punch, and it's real red, this one is, so it should, isn't that, matches the flowers on there quite nicely. I could have used one of the others. This one is not this one, because that one's got iridescent, so we don't want iridescent. We want this one with the gold. That might look quite nice as well, because this one is gold striped ribbon, mesh, no, yes, mesh ribbon. So you've got the stripes of the gold going around as well, but I think there's a little bit of red on there, so it'd be nice to have a bit more red. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to go through, hopefully, from the one side to the other. It's easier with slightly less inside. Here we go. Doesn't want to go. I'll fold it over. That might make it easier. There we go. And pull that through. And it's only shiny on the one side. The other side isn't so shiny. So make sure, I want to make sure that I've got the shiny side through on the outside. So then we're going to put this one through here again. don't want it to come through. There we go. Push that through and pull that. Should be plenty. And then I'm just going to pull that over this side so that I can put this ribbon back through the hole again. And there we go. Pull that through. There we go. And making sure that I've got the shiny side upright, upmost. Put that back through again for the final time. And then you just want to pull that tight. So I'm going to twist this slightly if I can now, so that I've got the shiny side up here, but it's still shiny on the back. So just a slight twist. So now I'm going to cut this at an angle there, and on this side. There we go. So that is your closure, and that won't come open. So I'll put my sentiment this time on this side, so we can push the chocolate a bit further up again now, so that that sits nicely. And put the ribbon away. Whoops. There we go. Tidy that up, and now we can make our sentiment to go on the front. I mean, the chocolate is a bit heavier than I thought. So this time I'm using, whoops, the Jar of Joy stamp set. It's got this matching punch, a jar builder punch that goes with it. There was another stamp set out that came with it originally, which is the sweet jar, and that's what I used for the other pouches that I've made. So you could use this as well. This one's got, you've got sort of two layers there. So you've got the background layer of cookies, you've got those, and then you've got some dots that you can put over the top in another colour. So you've got a lighter colour, a darker colour, and then the darkest colour for the dots. That would make sort of chocolate chip cookies. You've got some shamrocks, you've got some hearts, you've got more hearts there, you've got candles that you could put inside you. There's lots of nice sentiments as well. This is the one I've used previously, but this is the one I'm using today. So I've got this, they're the same jars. This one's actually got more or less filled in. That one's nice to use, but I'll be using a Stampin' Blend just to colour the lid in, because I thought it looked nice coloured in. I could have used that one and that would have filled it in. This one's I've put in more or less solid. I used Misty Moonlight for this one, and for this one I'm going to use Old Olive again, but I've put Wishing You the Sweetest Christmas on the for the sentiment for here. Again, you could have put some little gingerbread man and some biscuits, some Christmas biscuits, or you could put some decorations in, or you can put a snowman in, and you've got the snowman has got a little scarf and the headband for his hat, so there's two separate stamps for that as well. You've got little bows that you can put for the tops of the strings of the decorations as well, so it's quite nice stamp set there. So I'm just going to use the Wishing You the Sweetest Christmas for this one, but again you can use anything you like. So I've got my jar and my sentiment already on blocks. I've got a piece. Right, I'll show you what I did when I'll do it again so that you can see. When you punch, if you punch out the jar first of all with the lid, you can find out then exactly where you want to put your stamps so that they will be in the right position for you to punch it out. So because you want them to be in the right place, so you don't have to worry about punching one thing out and then punching something else out. So that's what I've done. So I laid them down inside the hole after I punched them out, and then I've put it onto my block. So now when I go to punch it out, it'll be in the right place. So they'll punch out together. Now, if you don't have what I've done in the other stamp set, I punched it out of a piece of scrap card and I've put them, I keep it inside the stamp set. So then I know I can put it in the right place again for the next time. So I can do the same thing with this one, just cut this one off and put that inside the other stamp set. So I know I've got that in the right position as well. So the Christmas one, I can put this one inside as well. So that one can go in here. So that next time I know exactly what position this needs to be in so that it lines up correctly. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this down here. This piece is just big enough. Hold it down. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment as well. And this fits really nicely inside. Hopefully that didn't, yes, that's fine. There we go. So there's the sentiment. Hello to whoever's out there. Thanks for joining me. You can give me a thumbs up or say hello or anything. So now I'm going to, before I cut it out, I'm going to colour the lid in, and I'm using the Old Olive, light Old Olive. So just going to colour in the lid. I'm not going to bother with shading because there's no need for this. There we go. There we go. So that's the lid, and my jar punch, and we put this in and try and line this up so we get that. It's always easier if you go to the back of your punch to punch things out so that you get things in the right place. You can see it better if you want to. I don't think I did line that up properly actually, but it's not too bad. It'll be okay. So I'm going to have to trim, I'll trim this bit around here again. So there we go. Don't need that piece again. Put that out of the way. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit because I didn't line it up properly. There we go. Just trim that off. That's okay. And the lid will fit on top of there like that. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of here. Now I've got, what I've done, I've got these snipped, these edge pieces here, and they will fit on the back of my lid without showing, just so I don't have to worry about cutting them to fit. So I can take that off. There we go. So I've got my dimensionals on the back of that, and I'll use 2 more on my jar. If you wanted to, you could leave the you could put more on. You don't have to, but you could if you wanted to. So you can put this on the front here, and this lid you can put on the top of your jar. There you go. So you've got your jar then, and I finished the other one off with some embellishments, some little. So I thought this might look nice on there. Now we could use the red, we could use the gold, or we can use the green. I think I might use the green again for this one. So these are the traditional sparkling sequins. Again, I could put them on here actually, because these are quite flat, so they won't stick up very much, so I'll do that as well. So we'll use some of these smaller ones, one there, a medium sized one over here, and another medium one down here. So we've got some nice little sparkly pieces here. So that's my pouch done. I'll put a couple of these on here. So I'll use, might put this one here, and another one over there, and another small one. Did I take it? Yes, it is sticky. And we'll put another one up there. There we go. So we've got our 2 sets of our pouch and our notepad holder. So I've got that DSP, and I've got this DSP. Again, like I said, on the other ones I've made, I have put a little calendar on inside, but I don't have them up here at the moment, so I couldn't put them on. I forgot to bring them up with me. So these are what we've made today. If you want to have the measurements again, just let me know and I will give you the measurements. It doesn't matter so much with the pouch, you're just making the pouch to fit whatever you've got to hand. Okay, but that's what we've made today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Again, if you want any of the products that I've used, you can find them on my online shop from stampinup.com. I'll put the link when I upload this in the description as well. So this one was with the Peaceful Garden Suite, and these were the Traditions of Christmas DSP as well. And these again, I think they come with this suite, I'm not sure, but I used some different embellishments for this one. This one's was the Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots. The one that comes with this suite are these. These are the Hues of Blue Flowers, but I just like, I didn't really, because there's circles on here for the berries, I just thought it would be nicer to have the circles rather than these. Don't really want necessarily flowers to go on there as well, so that's why I've changed that up. The ribbon also is in part of the suite as well, and I think the ribbon comes with this one too. So those are the items we've made today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I won't be able to do a live on Friday. I'm not sure what's happening on Saturday yet, but if I do get chance to come on, I will try and come back, and we'll do another set or another kit. I might not do what I said I was going to do with the kit, come back with the tags again. I might just carry on making more tags because the kit isn't available, unfortunately. So rather than, if it doesn't come back before Christmas and you couldn't get it, then it would be a bit of a shame to do something with that. I have at the moment the what's this one? The Christmas ornaments kit is still available, although I think the inventory is low at the moment. But this makes these oh, it doesn't show you. I put it back in the wrong way. I did open it up to find out if I needed anything extra, and I do need a hot glue gun, which I don't want to use particularly, so I might find something else to make it instead of this, but we'll have a look. I will let you know if I can make it next Friday or Saturday, but it's Black Friday on Friday, so I won't be around on. I'm taking my daughter and my mum to Swindon for the day. So we did it last year, and my daughter wanted to go back again this year, so we're going back again to Swindon for the day. So like I said, thank you very much for joining me. And if there's anything you need, any of the instructions for the dimensions for the papers and things that I've used, the card, just let me know and I will sort that out for you. I have got them written out here, so if you want to take a screenshot you can. So that gives you all the dimensions, and that's the dimensions for the notepad, and then you score it at those 3 measurements, and then that's the piece to go on the inside, and then your scrap for the sentiment outside, your white card and your DSP. It doesn't necessarily have to be white card. You could use another coloured card. You could use red and green. That would look nice for that one. I could have used cloud cover as well, or Misty Moonlight and cloud cover. I used Night of Navy for this one, and I used Night of Navy on this one, but Misty Moonlight on that one. So, and then you've got the gift pouch as well there. So I will leave it to so that if you want to, you can take a screenshot. There you go. And hopefully I will definitely be back again next Tuesday, and hopefully I'll see you then. But if I can, I will be back again on the weekend. Okay. Hope you have a lovely week, and I shall see you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.